42-0 over McClatchy to start the season off with. But there were some things that we talked about after the game, things that you'd like to see improvement on.
Yeah.
Things that you'll probably likely be working in practice this week in preparation for the Escalon game. Talk about some of those things and how you plan on getting those things a little bit tighter as you prepare for this week's game.
You have to make ball security a focus, and that's one of our goals going into today is going to be ball security. We had 6 fumbles, and that ranges from a bad snap to a bad exchange to an actual fumble. A guy could fumble on the ball as he's running the ball. So, those have got to be taken care of. We got to take care of the snaps. Going shotgun and predominantly shotgun. It was interesting to find out that a majority of our bad snaps, if not all of them, were all under center snaps, and so that was different for us. And going in, we're thinking we really got to make sure we get these shotgun snaps down, that type of thing, and then we go under center, and that's where we had the most problems. So some of it's nerve, some of it's somebody the center wants to leave early or the quarterback leaves early, whatever it may be. We got to get that taken care of. Just overall ball security is the biggest thing. Making sure we can't put the ball on the ground 6 times. We did it 6 times in the first half alone. I mean, we made the adjustment and made the focus of the second half, and we put it on the ground once. But you can't do that against a team with the caliber of Escalon on Friday. They'll make you pay for them. I mean, we didn't lose any, but at the same time, we gave McClatchy 6 or 7 chances to get a turnover, and lucky for us, we were able to recover all of them, or at least they went out of bounds. So yeah, that's a main goal for us is obviously ball control and ball security and that type of thing. Keep our offense on the field, keep their offense off the field. Try and grind it out a little bit and do the best we can. We can get some more energy out of everything too. I think we had some really good drives and we had some really good plays. Going back and watching on film, it just sometimes there's a little bit of a lack of energy and a lack of emotion that we need to get the kids a little bit looser in terms of letting loose a little bit in terms of some emotion and some excitement. We had a guy score and watch on film, and it was like everybody just turned around and got ready for the PAT. And we want to see some emotion from these guys and let these guys loose a little bit and let them have some fun. So that's another thing I'll be telling them is just make sure that if we're going to score a touchdown, celebrate. Obviously, don't draw attention to yourself and get a flag, but celebrate with your team. And we just scored some points on the board, and let's do it again. So just some little things here and there. It wasn't overall scheme. It wasn't anything drastic going in that we need to change, but we'll be focusing on just a lot of the little things this week.
Escalon, I believe they won their first game. I think it was 35-0 this past week as well. Do you consider this to be the first true test of the season for your team?
Oh yeah, definitely. McClatchy and Escalon are just other ends of the spectrum in terms of where they're at in their football program right now. Escalon is established. Their continuity is there. They are the example for public small schools in the area, even large schools. I mean, they are the example that people use, the standard in which they use to gauge their own programs or comparing programs together. So, McClatchy's young and they've got some things they need to get rid of, in terms of the losing tradition type of thing, but they're getting there. They're getting better. But this is totally 2 different teams. And so when you see Escalon come in on Friday, it'll be glaring, from the very beginning. So this is by far our first true test. Even our scrimmage, our red gray, McClatchy, those aren't even. I mean, they're warm-ups, in terms of this game here, and then Sierra we have following week. Those are our 2 biggest preseason games to get us ready for league. And so this is the first one, and it's nice to have it as week 2. I wouldn't want to go through a preseason as a cakewalk and then get into league and then get shell-shocked because we weren't ready. I mean, this is going to get us ready for league. It's going to get us ready for playoffs as well.
Took a quick peek at some of the stats from that Escalon game this past week, and it looks like they do a lot of running.
Yeah.
They have a running back, I think his name's Steven Silva, who had 146 yards and 3 touchdowns. Is that something you guys are planning for this week? Are you planning for them to kind of attack with the run?
Yeah, that is their MO. I mean, they're not a team. that's going to drop back and throw the ball 20 times a game or have a very complex pass game. Their pass game is set up off of their play action, off of just quick stuff to keep your safeties and corners, honest in terms of defending the run. But they want to be able to run the ball. They want to be able to put together a drive that's going to go 80-plus yards and chew up, 13 plays in about 6-7 minutes. That's what they want to do, and they've got the horses to do it. They are, they're big, they're physical. They've got some guys returning from last year's team that are key components. They've got some new faces in some certain spots, but these kids have been doing this for years in Escalon. I mean, they are, like I said, when they're the example that people use for a public school. I mean, their Pop Warners have been running the same exact program as their high school for years and years and years. So these kids have grown up running the same plays from when they're in 4th grade all the way through to now. So they know it. They know what it is. They know what they got to do, and they do it well. I mean, that's why they're the program that they are. I mean, in the last 20 years, 20 plus years, they've averaged over 10 wins a year. So they're good, and the program is good, and the program is going and staying in the right direction. So it's definitely going to be, like I said, it's definitely going to be a big test for us. But they will come in trying to run the ball and try to pound on you for 4 quarters.
Maybe going back to your team's game against McClatchy this past week, what are some things that you saw from your team that you liked, things that were positive on maybe on both sides of the ball?
The biggest thing I liked was there was, if something went wrong, it wasn't a whole lot of finger pointing going on. There wasn't a whole lot of, it's not my fault, it's somebody else's fault. And like I told you, one of our strengths is that leadership going in, and it showed because it was we were able to get better as the game went on instead of having long, spells of negativity or lack of offense or defense, whatever it may be. We got better as we went on. Second half was by far a better half for us than the first half, and that's even as we were putting subs in. And we didn't really drop off a whole lot in terms of our play once we put our subs in. So the adjustments that we were making, the kids being able to make the adjustments, the kids being able to work together and keep each other going throughout the game, even though there were times when we would go like a 3 and out, or they would move the ball a little bit, or they get a big play here and there, whatever it may be. It seemed like we stuck with that team mentality the entire time, and so that's what I liked. I liked the fact that we actually progressed from first quarter to fourth quarter and got better. I mean, the score may not indicate that in terms of only scoring 3 points in the fourth quarter, but it's more than just the score sometimes, and so actually a lot of times, and so that's what we were happy with as a staff. We watched it. There's things we need to work on. There's some things that didn't get fixed all the way through, but a majority of our adjustments were fixed as the game went on, and that was a good thing for us.
Right. Is it a benefit to this team to have its first 2 games at home here in Patterson?
I think so. I think it's a huge benefit to have Escalon here at home, as opposed to going to Escalon. They haven't lost at home. Regular season, I think, at home for many times. I think maybe only like 3 times, maybe not even 3 times in the last 17, 18 years, whatever it may be. So anytime you can get a team like that and get them at your place, and the kids get a little bit more comfortable with what's going on, their environment, that type of thing. Their preparation for a game. They're not having to go for all day at school, get about a half hour off and then come back and hop on a bus and go to the game. They get a little bit more time to rest and recover and kind of, re-energize for the game on Friday night when you're at home. So that's definitely a big positive for us. And like I said, with the young team, confidence is huge. And if we can keep it going a little bit and then and build some momentum in these first 2 weeks, it'll be good for us.